Hello everyone, this is day 17th of Becoming a Billionaire, and today the date is 9th February 2026. So that in Spanish will be El Nueve de Febrero, and the day is Monday, so that in Spanish will be Lunes. So I want to talk about what happened yesterday. So yesterday I went to this marriage event of a relative, and when I went when I got there, everybody was looking at me. I was getting the attention. I was being admired. I don't know what happened. Maybe it was my self-care routine or my skincare, or I was looking better physically because I have been exercising, or I have cut down sugar for the past 15, 16 days. So as I saw the result and I loved it, so that pushed me, that gave me a push to continue further. Although I was gonna continue, but I was having these thoughts that I was feeling very demotivated. So that gave me a push. And the other thing that I noticed is that it's easier to start by getting motivated, but what keeps you going is discipline. So I might be making video that way where I was feeling very demotivated, but I was about to make them, but now that I got this motivation, so let's continue with this journey. And so it works. The sacrifices, the hard work, it really pays off. So you have to be consistent. You have to be this person who just keeps going, because slowly and slowly you will start seeing the change. So what I learned from the vocabulary, so I'm going to talk about 5 words, and so these are stratagems. So what is stratagems? Stratagems are a plan or trick to gain an advantage over an enemy. So that is stratagem. The other word is devised. So devised means planned. Devise means planning. The third word that is there is wise. So wise is a person, a state where one has the knowledge and experience to make better decisions and judgment. And the fourth word is potential. So potential or potentially means something that could happen or might be true. And the fifth word is destruction. So destruction is this something that can cause harm or damage. So we have finished vocabulary. And now what I have learned in 48 laws of power. So there is a quote from Kautilya. He's also known as Chanakya, and he was an Indian philosopher around 3rd BC century, 3rd BC. And so he said that the archer may or may not kill a person, but the stratagems devised by a wise person can kill even babies in the womb. So that was the quote, and I strongly condemn such an act. I am against all this force and violence, but the quote is powerful enough to make others see what a person with intellect and this cunning, clever mind can do. So you have to be careful from the people who are very cunning, because when you know that someone has the capability to harm, you become this aware person, but a person might be not that physically strong, but he has a very clever mind. So you gotta be careful with that. So this quote was all about letting you all know how dangerous a person can be, even though he might not be physically. So you have to be careful with the people you talk to, or the people you surround to, or or everyone in general. So the quote is there. And the other thing that I learned is that love and affection can also be potentially destructive, because love and affection makes a person very kind of a weak in his judgment, because he doesn't know someone might be using this love and affection as a game, as a power game, in order to control the person. And so you have to be careful with these emotions. And the other thing that I learned is that anger or love cannot be repressed, and you shouldn't repress that also. You have to be very careful with these feelings. You shouldn't avoid them, but you have to be very careful how you express them, or how you let other person know about these feelings. And the most important thing about this point is that while you are making strategies, while you are making plans, so you don't have to let these emotions, this love or anger, affect your plan and judgment, affect your plan and strategies. So you have to be very careful with that. We have to be very careful with these feeling, love and affection. See, what I'm learning from these quotes, what I'm trying to make sense of everything, connecting everything. And the knowledge that I'm trying to understand, trying to give, is from a perspective of self defense. Because what happens most of the time, invariably, almost always, is that the are victims are the one that go to psychologist, and not the real person that have mental illness or problem. The victims that get suffered from these people go to the psychologist. So the my point is that when you are careful, when you know the game, you are saving yourself from people who are toxic, from people who are having this bad intention about you, who want to use you. And so when you learn all this, you become a very careful person, a person who is sensible while trying to talk others, while trying to be with others. And so we have completed with 48 laws of power. Now what I have learned in Spanish is how to use AR verbs. How to use AR verbs. So what I learned are a few verbs like hablar, nadar, caminar, buscar, and things like that. So what is hablar? Hablar means to speak, caminar means to walk, buscar means to search or look for, nadar means to swim. And so how you use these AR verbs is you you change the last AR with O when you say, when you talk about yourself. So it becomes hablo, yo hablo. And you don't have to necessarily use yo, because the O signifies that you are talking about yourself in the form of I. So I speak, yo hablo. So when you say hablo, it is understood that you are saying that I speak. And with the tu, you use this as. So hablas. With tu, you use hablas. And then with third form, with this he, she, and you in the formal sense, you use this habla. So hablo, hablas, habla. And then with this nosotros, you use amos at the end. So nosotros hablamos. And with that you all, you use this ice. So hablais. So that is there. And the when you use they as male, they as female, and you all in formal, in plural form, ustedes, so you use this es and then an at the end, so it becomes hablan. And so you just have to learn the verb hablar, caminar, and then you can change the ar at the end and you get the word that you are trying to say. So you don't say yo hablar because it means I too speak. So you have to remove that too, and that becomes, when you correct it, you becomes yo hablo, tú hablas, él habla, él habla, ella habla, usted habla, nosotros hablamos, vosotros habláis. And with that at the end, the hablan part, ellos, ellas, ustedes. So that is there. So you just have to change that. Now what I learned in German, so in German I learned how to say who you are. So you say wer bist du, wer bist du, wer bist du. So you say who are you, where bist du, are you, who are you, where bist du. And then how to say I am. So you say Ich bin. So when you say I am, you say ich bin. So when I'm about to say I am Mr. Billionaire, so I say ich bin Mr. Billionaire. So that is there. And when you say he is, so you say ist. And when you say she is, you say sie ist. And when you say it is, so es ist. And du bist, you are is very informal. So when you talking to a friend, you use du bist. But when you are being formal, so you use this sehr sind. You are in a formal sense, sehr sind. And sehr sind also means they are. So in conversation, you know when you are talking about what. So sehr sind is they are, sehr sind is you are in formal sense. And when you talk about we are, so you say wir sind. Wir sind. So we are is there. And when you say this, and when you say you are in plural, like you all, so you use er zed, er zed, er zed. So this is what I have learned, and it's already 12 minutes, so see you later.